Shalom, family. Sometimes on our walk with the Most High, we tend to get detoured by our experiences. We may become part of a church, part of a congregation, part of an assembly, or whatever group of people, or whatever relationships that we encounter, or teachers that we encounter. As we're walking with the Most High, we encounter people, right? And the Most High was just impressing upon me how important it is that we stay on his highway of truth. And this is the picture that he gave me of driving on the highway, that him and his set apart spirit, his Ruach, is what leads us, right? Is what sets the GPS, what guides us along our journey, right? And it's so important that we stay on his highway to truth. His ways are higher than our ways. And we have to stay on the highway. So when you are driving on the highway, right, you are driving through different cities. You're driving through different towns, different neighborhoods, right? And you'll see the exit signs on the way. But if you're going to a destination, you're going to stay on the highway, right? You're not going to take any of the exits, but you're passing through these places, right? You're on the highway, and you may drive for 20 minutes, and in that 20 minutes you may be passing through a particular city, right? Or 3 or 4 minutes you're passing through a city. You can see the city from the highway, but you're not getting off that exit. So you're passing through this place, but you're staying on the highway, right? So the Most High is saying that we have to stay on his highway of truth. We have to stay in the lane of listening to his voice, hearing his voice, and being firmly planted where he has us on our walk of truth. Even though we pass through different cities, we pass through different towns, meaning we pass through different congregations. You may pass through, the Most High may have you to be a part of a group, right? He may have you to be in relationships with different people. He may have you to learn from different teachers, right? So, but in our learning, in our fellowshipping, in our journeying through these different places, we have to keep our feet firmly fitted on his highway of truth. Stay in the car with him driving, with a GPS set. We have to stay on that pathway, right? So that he is our teacher. He is our leader. He is guiding us. We're being led by his spirit of truth always. So even though you may be learning from a teacher, you may be fellowshipping with a group, you may be, serving or doing whatever in the places the Most High brings you through, you don't want to take the exit to where now you've gone down the side roads, and you're journeying in this place, and you've left the highway of truth. You don't want to be caught off on a detour, and because that what happens then is that you lose, you're not moving forward anymore. You're not listening to the voice anymore. You're on a side road here, and now you are within. You're left to the mercy of whatever teacher, whatever group, whatever relationships. You're left to whatever degree is going on with these people. So now whatever doctrines that they're teaching, whatever traditions that they hold, whatever strongholds that they have, whatever deception that is present there, whatever has been taken from the truth or added to the truth, because people are people and those things will happen, so when we put ourselves in a place where we've taken the side road and we've gotten caught up in, and how do we get caught up there? Because our flesh, right? We have things that we are seeking or desiring. You may be hungering for knowledge, you may be hungering for the certain types of fellowship, whatever we hunger for, if that becomes stronger, it will take us into a space where we're no longer hearing clearly from the voice of the Most High and being able to discern truth. Sometimes you get a teacher, and because they were right about this and right about that, or because they helped you, they were a leader and they helped you at a certain point in your life, now you develop this loyalty, right? And you develop this trust, right? That takes you down the side road, and now these people, meaning well, may be in error. they may hurt you at some point. That with the truth that they have made, some of it may be true, some may be false, right? But but if we get off on this, if we take that detour, you're going to get caught up in that, and it's going to be several months, years of life where the Most High now is going to have to cause something to stir you up, to jar you out of that place. And it's usually us getting hurt. It's usually us realizing we've been lied to, and now we're wounded. Now we may become bitter or something like that, and then we wake up to try to find ourselves back to that highway of truth that we got deterred from at some point by taking that detour, right? By getting off at the exit and relaxing somewhere. But the Most High says, I am leading you. You are each my children. You each have my spirit. I'm leading you, on a pathway and a journey. And on that journey, you're going to pass through cities. You're going to pass through relationships. You're going to pass through groups of people, for a short time or for a long time, right? But you never allow the passing through of that passing through to cause you to get off, to get out the car, to cut off your GPS, to get off of the Most High's way of truth, his pathway. When you hear his voice, what does this mean? It means that we are discerning his voice for ourselves, right? And you're going to falter in that as you're going to stumble in that as you're learning. We all start at a place where we're not sure if we're hearing his voice. We're not sure. The Most High has to sharpen our discernment, because, when we start off, there are things in our hearts that are blocking our filter. The Most High takes us through a journey of cleansing our hearts so that we can see clearly, because sometimes we're being led by our desires. We're being led by our fears. We're being led by our woundedness. We're being led by things that we are craving, right? So in that, sometimes we'll think we're hearing the Most High and we're really hearing our own flesh. Sometimes, we're being pulled by something outside of us based on what's going on inside of us, right? So we have to go through that. We each have to learn that experience. And through each encounter, we get beat up and bruised. We get hurt and wounded. And then we find our way back to the highway of truth where his voice is clear and we can hear and we know that it's him. We get back on that highway and then we keep driving. We're going to pass through another city. We're going to pass through more people, right? But we have to allow our discernment to be sharpened so that, his sheep hear his voice. We have to practice being at his feet so that we hear his voice clearly, so that no matter where he sends us, no matter how much we may love the people, no matter how much we may dislike the people, it doesn't matter. The Most High can speak to us and give us instruction and and show us what's good and what's not good, what's clean, what's not clean, what's tainted and what's pure, right? He can give us discernment to see, not to point the finger, not to whatever, but to be able to hear him in the midst of even chaos, because sometimes the Most High leads us to places not just because of what we're going to get, but it may be something that we have to give. It may be something just that we have to see and learn. He sends us through different cities, different towns, different places, different people for different reasons, all for the upbuilding, all for the betterment and the building of us as a whole. Right. So, but what happens is because we get off of his safe place of truth where he's leading us and we fall into the place where we're relying on man. We're relying on man to lead us and to guide us in these things. We get hurt. We get wounded. We feel misled. And now we are damaged. And now instead of going back, some people never make it back to the highway of truth. Some people stay in that place. Some people, come back to the highway of truth and decide that I'm not ever dealing with people again. And that's not the intention of the Most High. That is the result of our taking that detour, right? And it's a learning experience. We all have done it. We all have, misheard or fallen into a misbelief. We've all followed or trusted in man too much at some point in our lives, right? So the Most High says to trust in man is a snare. Yahushua said he never entrusted himself to anyone, right? Because he knew what was in the hearts of man. He didn't entrust himself to man. But that doesn't mean he didn't walk with man. He had his disciples. Even though he knew that one would betray him, he still walked with them, right? So when you are not putting your trust in man, you can walk with man and not be torn down by that, right? You can walk with man and it not destroy you if man betrays you because your trust wasn't in man. Man, you can't be deceived and taught falsely if you're not putting your trust in man, if you are trusting in the spirit of truth to lead you and guide you into all truth, right? So we have to stay in that place, right? We have to stay in that place of trusting in him and allowing him to take us through different experiences and encounter different people and be a part of different things without it becoming a detour from his truth, his voice, right? So it's so important so that we're not becoming wounded and hurt and misguided and putting our loyalties in the wrong things, in the wrong places, the wrong people, so that we can remain fluid and able to move as the Spirit leads us in his truth, right? So that we can be healthy, so that we can be a body that's built together, stones being fit together as he sees fit, right? So we have to stay in that place. So I just wanted to share that with you today. It's so important. I know many people get hurt and damaged by being a part of some people somewhere, and it's important to be able to bounce back from that and learn from that, and to be able to still go forward and not allow that to be something that hinders you for the rest of your life and keeps you from his truth and his will and purpose in building us as a body, right? So let him lead you, let him guide you by his spirit of truth. Stay on his highway. Drive through drive through your encounters, but don't get off at the exit and get caught up over there. Sometimes the food looks good. It looks like it's some places to eat over here, and we want to just hang out there, and then we figure out that we're eating and getting it's starting to get sick, it's starting to get poisoned, right? Drive through. Let the Most High be the one that feeds you. You know what I mean? And in all situations and in all encounters, the Most High is your source. He is your strength. He is your leader. He is your guide. He is your covering. Fear not, for he is with you. And you will grow more and more in the knowledge and understanding of him being with you, the confidence of him being with you and leading you and guiding you. And even more as you allow him to cleanse your heart so that the lens is clear to be able to hear the difference and determine the difference between your flesh and his spirit. Hallelujah. Shalom, shalom.